Now, the 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Brought to you by TireOutlet.com. Wholesale prices, premium service.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it.
Some sort of proclamations happening here during the break.
I'm gripping because I had to sacrifice these 5 ridiculous games. So instead of being tied in the 5-pack, I'm like 6, 7 games behind. And
that's for a different segment.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just thinking out loud. We were talking about the games this weekend, and after just having this long discussion about who will we be pulling for, I came to the realization that you know what, maybe I don't really care much either way. Point being, if the Patriots get ahead of the Chiefs 17-6, I'll be pulling for the Chiefs, and if the Rams get ahead of the Saints 20-10, I'll be pulling for the Saints. I'll be rooting for the good game. And then that led into I'll be rooting for, who am I kidding? I'll be rooting for the 4-pack, which made me then make the announcement of when who am I kidding there? Whatever you pick, I'm picking the opposite because you guys have, hamstrung me into that position. All right. Dan, we may not know what's going to happen here at the quarterback position yet.
Okay.
But I tell you what, buddy, you listen to the national media, and they sure seem to know.
Oh, they do.
Even the...
It's already been determined?
From the Philadelphia Inquirer, this move makes Nick Foles to Jacksonville much more likely. From Pro Football Talk, Jaguars become immediate contenders for Nick Foles. Pete Prisco, CBS Sports, joined the guys yesterday. Nick Foles will be the starting quarterback in Jacksonville in September. Are we making way too big a jump to conclusion based just on the John DeFilippo?
Yes.
Yeah, you think so?
Yes. So many factors, so many circumstances, so many intangibles, money, cap, what they think of him. I'm going to tell you this, though. I will say this. I think Nick Foles, the more I learn of him, and I think also he had success against Coughlin's Giants, if I'm not mistaken. That I haven't checked, but I do know this. I know what Coughlin likes in a football player, and Nick Foles has what Coughlin likes in a football player. And I know that TC, the Godfather, will love the fact that Nick Foles is beloved by his teammates. Okay?
For sure.
So I think those types of those intangibles. Now, what they ultimately decide, I don't know. We're certainly getting ahead of the story. They certainly did not bring in John DeFilippo because of his relationship with Nick Foles, although that doesn't hurt.
Marone said that they didn't, but that could be only half true. I'm not sure I completely believe that. If you do go down the Nick Foles path, it might help that it's DeFilippo.
The fact that Nick Foles had a great year with John DeFilippo is more important than the fact that John DeFilippo worked with Nick Foles, because there are no guarantees you'll get Nick Foles, but there is a guarantee that John DeFilippo seems to work well with quarterbacks, both veteran and young.
Here is what Nick Foles...
Kirk Cousins statistically had a very good year. Foles and Wentz both have had their best years, so in that respect,
and there's by the way, we should also mention that in Philly there's Zach Ertz and Alshon Jeffrey. In Minnesota there's Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen.
Yes.
Here we got slow and slower. I mean, we got nothing at receiver. So
we can go back to the old. Listen, you're a good offensive coordinator if you got good players.
Well, no doubt. By the way, I should add this. This is what Foles said about DeFilippo last season when it was, clear that Filippo was going to, advance out of his role with Philly and take another job somewhere, which he ended up doing in Minnesota. But about DeFilippo, Foles said, quote, he grinds. He puts us through some stuff, which is awesome. He's a great coach. I know he's focused right now, but I also know he's going to be a great head coach someday, and I'm excited for his opportunity. So, clearly, if you are trying to woo Nick Foles, if you decide to, if that's not your plan already, DeFilippo could be a difference maker when it comes whether he wants to go there or Miami or Washington or one of the other suitors.
A feeling of comfort is good for Nick Foles.
Correct.
We'll protect, we may, in fact, if we want Nick Foles bad enough, look, let's be honest. We do a couple things. Number one, we change our colors to green.
Oh, wow.
And number two, we become the Jacksonville something bird. Give me a bird name, and we fly, bird, fly. We start singing that song in the stadium, and whatever works. If Foles feels like he's in Philadelphia, he'll be that much more successful, won't he?
We played kind of like the Jacksonville Songbirds.
Yes.
Fly,
the songbirds, fly.
Or the Jacksonville Sparrows.
On the road to victory. S-O-N-G, birds, songbirds. I mean, whatever it takes to get Nick Foles is what we got to do.
Fair enough.
If we got to fool him, we'll fool him. Hey, Jeff, what does Zach Britton, Dylan Betances, Aroldis Chapman, and now Adam Ottavino mean to you?
They could all strike out Babe Ruth.
Yes.
Well, no, they're all. Is Ottavino the guy? He's the one that said he can strike out
I
Babe
got a
Ruth?
question.
Yes.
You guys know so much about women. How come you're here at like a gas and sip on a Saturday night?
Choice, man.
How
Choice.
did that? What that?
That's Lloyd.
Yeah, somebody messed up.
Stauber.
Huh. I don't know what that was.
Someone
about.
messed up.
I'm okay with that, though. You can drop that in any time.
Anyway, what was the question again? I've gotten confused.
Well, I'm asking you what those guys mean to you. I mean, if you
I
want
know.
a star-studded bullpen.
They're all Yankees. They're all Yankees. Yeah, the Yankees have hired.
If bullpen is important, guess who's got the best bullpen in baseball?
It is important. There's no if. It definitely is.
Does that make them? Does that make them the favorites?
No, I'll tell you why it doesn't. Because who had the best bullpen last year?
I don't know who.
The Brewers.
Brewers.
Yeah, by the time we got to the playoffs, the Brewers had the best.
Yeah.
You know, Haterade and that whole crew were knocking you out left and right. So that's not the. But now the other side of that is the Yankees seem to have the other pieces, right? They certainly have the offense. Starting pitching in with the Yankees still doesn't scare you to death, does it? I mean, aren't we still going with the same old, Sabathias of the world?
Yeah.
So, we'll see. But hey, I'd love to have that, that little quartet of guys. I mean, you do the math. You get 5-6 innings out of your starter, you're going to be in pretty good shape most nights.
I'll jump in. I got another one for you. Follow up.
Good.
Totally different, but I'm going to play the player A, player B. Who would you rather have card?
All right.
All right. You ready to
fun.
play?
Yeah. Blind resume, we call it.
Well,
I don't know if we call it anything, but I just did.
All right. These are two quarterbacks, okay?
All right.
Passer rating when dealing with pressure. Player A, 69.7, 4 touchdowns to 1 pick. His adjusted completion percentage, 57.6.
Hey, don't give me another adjusted completion percentage.
His
That's
grade is
confusing
54. Player B, passer rating 33.6, 0 touchdowns, 2 picks. Won't give you his lower adjusted completion percentage.
They have
his
to be.
PFF grade is 39.9. Now, I want you to stay with me here.
These have to be. There's hardly any attempts. This is where these guys play one game in their career.
Oh, they both were starters. Now,
how could you only be pressured 4 times all year?
Who said 4 times? 4 touchdowns to 1 pick when pressured. 0 touchdowns to 2 picks when pressured.
So it doesn't say the number of times they were pressured.
No.
Okay.
All right. Now I'll give you their total stats. Okay. Are you leaning towards one player or not at this point?
Well, but the nature of the question makes me so suspicious that I'm having a hard time approaching this with an open mind. One's going to be like a terrible player, and the other one's going to be a good one.
All right. This player had threw for. Oh, let me get to the. This player threw for 2,700 yards, had 30 touchdowns, and 6 picks. 2,700 yards, 30 touchdowns.
Is this college or pro?
6 picks.
This is pro?
No.
Okay.
And this player threw for 2,500 yards, had 24 touchdowns, but also had 7 more touchdowns running, only 6 picks. Who do you want? Blind resume. You weren't paying attention.
I was paying attention. I had to pay so much attention that I got a little brain lock there.
Okay.
I'm having a hard time differentiating the two without looking at it.
Yeah.
You gave me pretty similar guys, though.
Yeah.
Right? So
And who I gave you were?
These are college guys? I'm assuming
Yes.
you're giving me like...
I gave you Jake Fromm
Uh-huh.
and Felipe Franks.
Okay.
And Felipe Franks.
Who was the one that had 4 touchdowns, 1 pick under pressure?
Felipe Franks.
Yeah, I saw Florida pressure Jake Fromm, and I saw Fromm throw touchdowns, and I saw Georgia pressure Felipe Franks, and I saw him throw interceptions and overthrows. So if that is the problem with the blind resume game, huh?
I guess my point is
Stats don't always equal the play. And
I'm going to say this again, though. My point is not as different. 2,700 yards in 14 games for Fromm. Now, look, they're predominantly a running team.
It doesn't even sound right, does it?
No.
It's less than 200 a game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, Franks has more of a running ability. I know he's not, like we've said, he's not like some quick twitch rabbit. But
Fromm ran for minus yards,
Okay.
and Franks had 330.
Yeah.
Which, again, I think he'll be better next year, but I think he learned how to run.
I do think this. I think I was, certainly didn't get to 600 like I predicted, but he was also piled up more yards than you thought he would. We kind of ended up in the middle on that. Because when you take away his sack yardage, now granted he wasn't sacked near as much this year. Point being, he made some plays. He's a better straight line runner for sure. Like when Felipe Franks really embraced the quarterback draw and that power run up the middle, he'll get you 5, 6, 7, and occasionally break one. So
Fromm's best game, honestly, was against Alabama, though.
Fromm, I just looked. Some people say Fromm's one of the top 2 or 3 players in college football going into next year. I don't know if I believe that. I still say
Fromm is a mystery to me at this point.
Yeah, I still say at the end of the day, when 5 years from now, that Jacob Eason is the guy that's going to be throwing the ball around in the NFL more than Jake Fromm.
Yeah.
I still believe that.
Fromm, Fields, or Eason, who's a better NFL quarterback?
I got to see Fields play. I mean, everyone's gaga over Fields.
I know.
But
you got to at least see him, don't you?
But Fields could be, he reminds me of, very quietly under the radar, Cam Newton played some football at Florida one year with Tim Tebow. It's not like Cam Newton was a red shirt and never got on the field. He played and scored. So
he had a lovely run against Tennessee.
Yes, he did. So I could see I could see Fields being a really, really good player, but I mean, you got to see some success. There've been an awful lot of highly touted high school phenoms that it doesn't work.
Yes, there are.
We both, I think, agreed yesterday that with kind of the value of Kyrie Irving and kind of announcing that he called LeBron to apologize.
Right.
He's getting ripped. Charles Barkley in particular.
What did he say?
Quote, I didn't like it at all, Barkley said. It seemed like he was saying, we're losing because of these guys. They're young. They don't know how to win. They made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year without him. You don't have to tell people you're a leader. You just be a leader. That kid played great last night. That's one of the few games I've seen where he really made a conscious effort to make everyone around him better. But this thing, like, I called LeBron because he taught him to be a leader, then be a leader. You don't have to tell us you're one. Is that fair? It is kind of fair. I didn't think of it in those terms.
That's okay. That's why he's Chuck and we're us.
That's true. I'd just take Ernie at this point.
Yeah.
Quite frankly.
I
got one for you.
What do you got? Is it a question or a statement?
It's a question.
Ask it.
Fast forward to
June.
June.
Do you have a question?
Thank you.
Fast forward to June.
Yep.
And we're going into the Sunday, June 14th. I don't know the exact date.
Yep.
And Phil Mickelson is 8 under par, and Tiger Woods is 7 under par.
Yeah.
And Tiger is shooting to reclaim a major, win his first in 10 years.
Right.
Number 15 total.
It's like the shootout at Sherwood again.
And Phil Mickelson.
Is there $9 million at stake?
And Phil Mickelson is heading to the first tee on his birthday with a chance to exercise the ultimate demon. 6 runner-up finishes at the U.S. Open through the year and win the U.S. Open for the first time and complete the career Grand Slam. Who are you pulling for?
Oh, who am I pulling for? That's a good question. I like that. I don't know. I'd have to be in the moment because normally I'd pull for Tiger.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd have to be in the moment. I could see myself rooting for Phil. I like your scenario. It ain't happening. I mean, and I'm happy for Phil, and I hope he wins this week. I hope he gets a couple dubs. He's 48 years old. I mean, Beef proclaiming that it's his birthday on U.S. Open week. No dub, Beef. It's his birthday every year on U.S. Open week.
Thank you. That's what I'm here for.
But the actual
Dan,
Sunday.
did you know?
The actual Sunday.
You're so much better than that.
That
was
Sunday
along the
is his
lines.
birthday.
But the actual final round. I thought that was a Beef. You can ignore his criticism.
I mean, I'll give you another one.
Stat.
I'll give you another one.
I'm going to throw punch your ass on after drill.
Here it comes.
Because I was up early, I was listening to this guy named Mike Golick Jr., and he compared Phil Mickelson today to Dan Orlovsky, that after a few years of playing the backup, you sort of just embrace it.
What?
Yeah, that's what he did. And
He's like top 5-10 golfer of all time.
Correct. He should be pulled off the air for that idiotic statement.
Well, he is
Sorry.
idiotic. We booted him
Sorry,
off of
MG
our air
Jr.
because of that.
But
I mean,
anyway,
don't kid yourself. One of the main reasons we're now CBS Sports National is because ESPN sucks so loud and hard that it gives you a headache.
I was just criticizing one comment.
It's
but
not
anyway.
just him. Right?
Got any other brand decks you want to promote?
Anyway,
right.
Yeah. Listen, I had to be said. I mean, we're calling things out what we see. But with all that said, 48, 49-year-old Phil Mickelson, I love him, and I would love to see that happen. You think he can maintain 4 days at a U.S. Open and win a U.S. Open at that age?
I don't. The age doesn't concern me. I mean, I'm 51. I play better golf now than I'm not a pro, but I just don't think if he's healthy. I don't think.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. This charging group of young incomers have decided to become young and fallbackers. There was a time where it looked like between Dustin Johnson and Rory McIlroy and Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas and Brooks Koepka and all them coming at you. Oh, you'll never be able to hold them off. And these wipes can't even make a cut.
Yeah.
So
you want a dime bet on Phil Mickelson winning a major?
Of course not.
Okay.
Of course not. But I would
just
not.
Asking.
I wouldn't be as surprised as you are if he is in contention.
I'd love it.
By the way,
don't get me wrong.
And by the way, Pebble's been one of his best tracks.
Yeah.
He's won 3 times there.
Yeah.
I think that I'll give you this.
Yeah.
I'll do dime. And this is awful risky.
Yeah.
I'll do a dime bet, sight unseen, with injury still in the future.
Yeah.
That he's in the top 20 going into the weekend. Now that's a fair dime bet. Not will he win? So you can think about that, and then we'll see just how.
I'll bet you this.
How little
I'll
chance.
do this.
How little chance
I'll
Phil
do
has.
this. I bet you Phil Mickelson is playing in the U.S. Open. Dime bet.
That's not near the same. There's 144 golfers. Top 20 is somewhere that Jordan Spieth didn't end up all year.
Yeah.
You're saying he has no chance to win the Open.
Yes.
Then he's not going to be in the top 20.
Yeah. I may do that.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
I may do that.
It's not as ridiculous a question as it sounds on his face. It's less ridiculous than betting a dime that he wins the Open. I mean, what in the hell? The Friday 5-pack is next. Chaos rules. Disaster reigns.
Caller number
I need a number, Dan.
2, Beef. What do they take it home?
Caller number 2, Dan, at 641-1010 is going to get a prize pack. It features dinner for 2 at Boston's Restaurant and Sports Bar. They'll also get free airport parking from our friends up at usapark.net. Caller number 2, 641-1010.